An invitation to philosophy of education, behaviorism. Here are the objectives. After reading this chapter, students are expected to: number 1, describe the relationship of philosophy and education. Number 2, explain what philosophy of education is and its relevance. And number 3, acquire a clear understanding regarding the different philosophical systems relevant to philosophy of education. From dots to students, behaviorism. Behaviorism is not a philosophical system, but a philosophical theory. As a doctrine, it is loaded with philosophical implications and has considerable importance in the field of education. George Graham, 2007, professor of psychology and philosophy in mind in Wake Forest University, explains that behaviorism bears the following three-dimensional claims. First, psychology is the science of behavior. Psychology is not a science of mind. Behavior can be described and explained without making reference to mental events or to internal psychological processes. The sources of behavior are external, in the environment, not internal, in the mind. In the course of theory development in psychology, if, somehow, mental terms or concepts are deployed in describing or explaining behavior, then either these terms or concepts should be eliminated and replaced by behavioral terms, or they can and should be translated or paraphrased into behavioral concepts. Graham, 2007, adds that these claims are logically independent from each other, and each describes the three different types of behaviorism. Methodological behaviorism stresses that psychology should be more concerned with the behavior and not the mental states of organisms, humans and non-humans alike. Psychological behaviorism concerns itself with the second claim and is reminiscent of the Russian scientist Ivan Pavlov and his drooling dogs. Pavlov tries to explain behavior through external stimuli, which is the food, responses, which is salivating dogs, learning histories, the periods of dogs salivating whenever they see food, and reinforcements, the sounding of a bell to closely associate food, apparent in certain types of behavior. The last claim expresses what analytical, philosophical, or logical behaviorism is. The idea here is that mental states can account for an organism's behavioral disposition. The most fundamental objective of behaviorism in education is to change behavior and guide it towards more pleasant paths. Bruce Frederick Skinner, 1971, is one of the most important behaviorists in his most famous treatise, Beyond Freedom and Dignity. He departs from the traditional views of humanity when he says that a person is determined through one's environment. He is one of the pioneers of operant conditioning. Operant conditioning, or sometimes called as instrumental conditioning, is learning through rewards and punishment. He is more known as the father of teaching machines, for he has given birth to the concept of using personal computers as instructional materials in the classroom. In a classroom using this method, a description is as follows. Number 1, specify the desired outcome what needs to be changed, how it will be evaluated. Number two, establish a favorable environment by removing unfavorable stimuli that might complicate learning. Number three, choose the proper reinforcers for desired behavioral manifestations. Number four, begin shaping desired behavior by using immediate reinforcers for desired behavior. Number five, once a pattern of desired behaviors has begun, slacken the number of times the enforcers are given. Evaluate results for future development. Skinner believes that this programmed learning can also be developed to teach complicated concepts and can give reward every time the student gives a good answer. Teachers in the behaviorist classroom should have an agreement as to what kind of behavior they would like their students to manifest before they apply the conditioning methods. Aside from working together, they should also uniformly reward both desirable and undesirable behaviors. Acknowledgement. Contents taken from Exploring the Philosophical Terrain, edited by Lenny D.I.R. Garcia, published by C&E Publishing Incorporated, 2013. Thank you.